you know, what's the thing that's changed the most is the emotional state of the entire planet, right? Including ourselves and all our guests. And fear is the dominant emotion right now. Fear cannot make a safe decision. All of you, if you think about it for a moment, your guest journeys, however they interacted with you, whether you're a brewery or an Indian restaurant with street food and so forth and so on, there was a guest journey that included, it starts and ends in social media. So that's the new world. As they came in, the greeting, and then they're ordering at the counter or ordering at the bar, ordering at the table and so forth and so on. And the restaurateurs that get this intuitively or intentionally, like Danny Meyer, know that it's about making emotional impacts at each point of that guest journey. Now we have a guest that's showing up in a state of fear. And so if we recognize that, all we have to do is go, okay, they're going to walk in with a state of fear. Let's convert that to a state of calm, assurance, confidence that everything's going to be okay. Everything you're talking about would be the end result, all those behaviors. But it's easier starting with the end in mind, saying, if I want a guest to feel safe and secure coming to my establishment to pick up or drive through or delivery, whatever all that is, then let me think of the things that would give them that. And then the rest of it flows actually very logically. What was mentioned by Sachi in terms of we have social distancing and people are warned to wear masks and gloves. That's exactly the kind of thing that begins to provide the insurance. Now, it's kind of weird that in a restaurant we have to dress like we're in a hospital room, but that's the reality right now. And that's there. The other thing that all of you might think about for the operators, because there's a lot of innovation going on right now in the industry in order for people to survive, besides pivoting to delivery and takeout, that is not going to be enough to pay rent. It's just not. If you have a drive-through, you're in a much better spot than if you don't, just because that's going to be the first one that's going to come back. It allows me to remain socially distant. I can drive up, pick up my food. I got my family with me. I can go home. Everything's safe. Again, emotionally, that's a safer bet. A robust delivery and takeout program might be a distant number two. Sit-down dining, that's a distant third. That's the one that's going to have the hardest time coming back because of this whole conditioning of fear. And on top of it, it's really a combination of we need tests and we need vaccine. Those are the two game changers that are going to help us. But as you start thinking about this, also look at your facility, and this is where it gets very radical. If you're, and I think you talked about pop-up market, I mean, I use the term grocerant, combination of grocery store and restaurant. So if you think about that, the idea of selling toilet paper in a restaurant 2 weeks ago would have been stupid. Now it's brilliant, right? So I don't know about you, but my in-laws live in Indian Wells. It's a 2-week wait time for a grocery store for pickup, much less delivery. 2 weeks. That's how busy the grocery stores are. So if you can now begin, I was on a webinar yesterday with the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association. So these restaurants are now carrying toilet paper, paper products, cleaning supplies, rubber gloves. I mean, you name it, milk, jugs of milk, orange juice, the basic staples that people would want to have daily need for. That's going to give you frequency, and it's going to give you a higher transaction average. Shashi, what you said earlier about a meal kit. So Blue Apron was a disaster because it was too expensive. It just didn't work out. But now restaurants can begin to do meal kits, either just bulk food or prepackaged meals to say, go home, here's the recipe, here's how to cook it. This one chef out of Deerfield Beach is now on her website creating recipes for people that are easy to make at home, that use some of the ingredients she sells with a little bit of twist. So you may be able to do that with Indian spices and herbs and things like that. Here's your package. Here's how you try and do it. She's also making sure she takes pictures of her food fully plated, even though they're going to get it in a box or a styrofoam box, so that people know how to dress it up at home. There's this whole thing about let's make it nice. Let's not look at like we're just gonna, hanging out at a frat house. We're going to take a little bit of extra time. Got plenty of time in the world to do that. The last thing that I'll share with you is that there's a concept, and several are now adopting this, that say to themselves, all right, I'm an Indian restaurant, I'm a brewery, I'm whatever I am. What do people want to eat? And if I've got the kitchen space, I'm going to make it for them and become a virtual concept. This restaurant, I think it's in Atlanta, just launched 6 brands online out of his one location. Nobody knows where it's coming from, but it's burgers on one, burritos on the other, cheese melts on the other one, deep fried chicken on the other one. And you can do that now as well and just create a virtual concept and start selling product out of your restaurant. So these are the kind of things you can begin to do.